Good morning, my dear students of class 7. Today we are going to take the same chapter, Kingdom Classification, and the topic which we are going to do today is Kingdom Protista. Last week we did Kingdom Monera. This is the second kingdom, Kingdom Protista. Nutrition and reproduction in protists. Then we will be taking one example, one member of protist, that is amoeba, its structure, nutrition, locomotion, respiration and reproduction. Here you can see these are the various members of kingdom Protista. Okay. Features of kingdom Protista. The first one says most of the protists are aquatic, that means they live in water, that is sea, rivers or lakes, etc. But few of them are terrestrial as well, that means they can live on land. Kingdom Protista includes single cell, that is unicellular organisms made up of only one cell. They are eukaryotic. Eukaryotic means they have well-defined nucleus, and also they have got membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum and plastids. So eukaryotic means they have got well-defined nucleus and also membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, etc. They are unicellular and eukaryotic. Now here you can see the members of Kingdom Protista. This is taken from your textbook, Paramecium, Euglena, and the most common example of Protista, that is amoeba. Here also you can see the same. Can you see the hair-like structures here? These are cilia. Here you have got a flagellum, and here you have got the pseudopodia. All these three are the locomotory organ of these organisms. By the help of these, they move. First, we will be talking about nutrition in protists. So there are various modes of nutrition in Kingdom Protista. They could be autotrophs, they could be heterotrophs or parasitics. Okay, parasites. Autotrophs means they can manufacture their own food. Photosynthetic autotrophs, they are also called the chief producers in ocean because they produce food, so they are called the chief producers. Examples are Euglena, Chlamydomonas, diatoms and algae. Non-photosynthetic heterotrophs, that means heterotrophs, they cannot manufacture their own food. Hence they depend on other organisms. They feed on other protista or particulate food. Then the third category, third mode of nutrition is parasitism. Some are parasites in other animals, and some live symbiotically in the guts of animals like in termites and wood-eating cockroaches, where they digest cellulose and hence acts as decomposers. So here I tell you the difference between parasites and symbionts. Okay? In parasitic mode of nutrition, two organisms are there, one live on the other. So one is parasite, other one is the host. So parasite always get the advantage, whereas the host is always at the user's end. But here in symbiosis, just opposite to parasitism, in symbiosis, two organisms, they live together and they help each other. Okay. Now comes reproduction in protists. Protist reproduces asexually as well as sexually. Asexually by binary fission. It is simply they divide into two. And sexually by the process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. So when we talk about the reproduction in protists, two methods are there, asexual as well as sexual, asexual by binary fission, and sexual by zygote formation. Here you can see. Paramecium is also one of the members of kingdom Protista. Here you can see this adult paramecium. It divides into two daughter paramecium. Okay, this is the color diagram of it. Here in sexual reproduction, you can see gametes are there, fertilization takes place, and zygote is formed. Okay, and thus they go for sexual reproduction. Now we have taken one example, which I told is the most common example, most common member in kingdom Protista. So we'll be learning about this. This is the diagram of amoeba. They don't have a definite shape. They keep on changing their shape. Amoeba, just like other protists, it is single cell and eukaryotic. Single cell made up of only one cell. Eukaryotic means they have a well-defined nucleus. It is surrounded by a cell membrane. Here you can see the cell membrane. This is the cell membrane, the boundary of this. Okay, this is also called plasma membrane. They do not have definite shape. Always they keep on changing their shape by producing or developing the pseudopodia. They have pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia is feet. So they have got false feet or pseudopodia for locomotion. It helps them to move and capture the prey. Okay. So these are the pseudopodias. Okay. Then comes nutrition. The process of obtaining food in amoeba is called phagocytosis. The process of nutrition includes the following steps. What are these steps? Now look at this diagram. This is an adult amoeba. Here you can see the nucleus, lysosomes, and this is the cell membrane or plasma membrane, and this red one is the food particle. So whenever the amoeba comes in contact with the food particle, it creates or develops the pseudopodia around it, encircle it, and ultimately it engulfs it. Earlier it was outside, now it is inside. Once this food particle goes inside amoeba, what happens? Formation of food vacuole takes place. You can see the food vacuole here. And then digestion starts by the action of some enzymes. The food is digested. Once it is digested, the digested food is absorbed by the cytoplasm. All these are cytoplasm, so it is directly absorbed by the cytoplasm. And the undigested, and this food vacuole disappears. What is left? The undigested food or the waste material that is thrown out of amoeba's body. How? This plasma membrane or cell membrane, it ruptures, and then this one, the undigested food, comes out of it. Let's see. The steps are ingestion, digestion, assimilation, and ejection. Ingestion means taking in of food. Amoeba forms temporary finger-like projections called pseudopodia. So, formation of pseudopodia you can see around this. When a food particle comes near to it, it engulfs the food particle and forms a food vacuole in it. So it is engulfed, you can see here, and food vacuole is made. Then comes the next one, that is digestion. The enzymes surrounding the cytoplasm enter into the food vacuole and they further break down the food molecules into small and soluble molecules. Okay, so food is broken down by the action of enzymes inside the food vacuole. Then comes assimilation. What happens after digestion? The food in the food vacuole is absorbed directly into the cytoplasm by diffusion. What is diffusion? The movement of molecules from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So that's how it is absorbed by cytoplasm. this food then spreads from the food vacuole to the whole amoeba cell. So earlier it was here only, now it is there everywhere in amoeba cell. The food vacuole disappears. Once the digestion is finished, this you cannot see the food vacuole there, this is not there. Okay, only undigested food is left. Egestion, how this undigested food or the waste material comes out of the body. The cell membrane of the amoeba ruptures and the undigested food collects in it. In this way, the undigested food is thrown out of amoeba. So this undigested food comes out of amoeba when the cell membrane ruptures, okay, or the breaks. Now comes locomotion in amoeba. I told you it is done with the help of pseudopodia. These are the pseudopodias. So amoeba is in locomotion. Okay, it's moving. How it happens? The locomotion in amoeba takes place by pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means false feet. This is called amoeboid movement. The movement in amoeba is called amoeboid movement. The direction of the movement depends on the flow of cytoplasm. What happens if it has to move in this direction? The cytoplasm will also move in this direction. It will flow and will develop the new pseudopodias where it has to move. And why does it move? To catch a prey, to get its food. They can extend pseudopodia in any direction for engulfing prey. The diagram which is given in your book is this. This is the pseudopodium, the singular of pseudopodia. New pseudopodium is developed and that's how it moves. Then comes respiration in amoeba. It's very, very easy. As I told you, most of the members of Protista are aquatic. So, in water, oxygen is dissolved. And that oxygen they utilize. In amoeba, respiration takes place through the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Look at this. This is the cell membrane or plasma membrane. So what happens? The oxygen gas dissolved in the surrounding water comes into the amoeba by diffusion. Outside, oxygen is dissolved in water, so it comes in amoeba, and after respiration, CO2 or carbon dioxide is manufactured, that also goes out or diffuses out with the help of the process diffusion. So oxygen gets in and carbon dioxide goes out through the cell membrane. So that is all about respiration. Now reproduction in amoeba. There are two ways. Amoeba reproduces by the process of asexual reproduction called binary fission. That means one amoeba divides into two daughter amoeba. First, what happens? The nucleus divides into two daughter nuclei. Thus, two daughter cells are formed. They grow and then again they split to produce more new cells. In the diagram, you can see this is an adult amoeba. We call it the parent cell. Now here you can see the nucleus divides into two daughter nuclei. Now after the division of nucleus, the cytoplasm also divides and then ultimately they get two daughter cells. This type of reproduction is called binary fission. So this happens in the favorable conditions. Under unfavorable condition, it goes for multiple fission. Amoeba also undergoes multiple fission. Not only two, many daughter amoeba are formed in unfavorable conditions. How it happens? A hard covering called cyst develops around the cell. Look at the diagram. This is an adult amoeba. So under unfavorable condition, it develops a cyst around it. Okay, this is the hard covering, and inside the nucleus divides again and again. Same with the cytoplasm also divides again and again, and then ultimately they have got many daughter cells. The nucleus of the cell divides again and again, thus forming several nuclei. The cytoplasm is divided into several parts. Each part encloses one nucleus. Here you can see with one nucleus, cytoplasm is there like that. Everywhere you can see little bit of cytoplasm and one nuclei. Okay. Under favorable conditions, now the favorable conditions are there. So this cyst, it ruptures, breaks open, and then all this daughter amoeba comes out of it. Under favorable conditions, the cyst breaks open and releases multiple number of daughter cells. So today in this class we learned about kingdom Protista, its members, amoeba, its nutrition, respiration, okay, and reproduction. With this topic comes to an end. Stay home, stay safe, and have a good day.